Hello and welcome to iBuzz. I'm your host Nasheen Bukhari, bringing you the most exciting and latest entertainment news. In today's episode, we will discuss Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, followed by a movie review, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. First things first, let me quickly take you to the top stories of the day. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy bags 2 Daytime Emmy nominations. Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's rousing Marvel film impresses most critics. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child will premiere on Broadway on November. Ed Sheeran co-writes new track for JLS. And Black Panther, Wakanda Forever begins production. And now moving to the top story of the day. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has confirmed that production on Ryan Coogler's highly anticipated MCU sequel, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, has finally begun at Pinewood Studios in Atlanta. To have further discussion on this subject, we have entertainment journalist Josh Fromm with us. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nasheen. Good morning.
So, recording a Black Panther movie without Chadwick Boseman this time, do you think it will be impactful the same way it was with Boseman?
I mean, I think it's going to be even more impactful the same way that it was with Chadwick Boseman, because let's be honest, Chadwick Boseman has really set up quite the legacy for himself in Hollywood. And obviously his passing was very tragic. He was effectively, his role, he was integral to the franchise. So I think this film is going to be paying tribute to him and having nostalgic moments left, right and center. And as he was such an integral part of the franchise, I think there are going to be references to his character non-stop throughout this movie. The Marvel Studios have said that they're not going to recast Chadwick as his character, as the title character. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the franchise goes with this, and in what ways they're going to pay tribute to Chadwick. But what we do know is that Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, has said that it's clearly very emotional without Chad. So already, get yourself ready, guys. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a gut puncher.
And Josh, in addition to the MCU sequel, Coogler is also currently developing an untitled Black Panther spin-off series for Disney+, which is being described as an origin series. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's going to be a TV series kind of set within the world of Wakanda, and it's part of a multi-year overall deal that Coogler and his proximity media have signed with the Walt Disney Company in February. I think it's going to be interesting. It's very clear by the introduction of Disney Plus now that Marvel Studios and Disney, they're preparing all sorts of content, not just for the big cinema screen, but also for the mini screen, for the small screen on Disney Plus. And this whole new world of streaming has given Disney an opportunity to really explore different sorts of content, especially with Marvel, that they haven't done before. And we're already seeing the success. We've seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've seen WandaVision. We're about to see Loki come out with Tom Hiddleston. So it's very clear that there is so much opportunity for Marvel to kind of develop all sorts of content these days. And it's clear, not just with Black Panther 2, but also with this new TV series that's going to be set within the world of Wakanda, that that they are exploring this both in the traditional kind of business model for the big screen, both for theatrical releases and also for this new world of streaming. So I think Disney are across all kinds of platforms.
Right. With the protagonists still unannounced, Letitia Wright is reportedly set to take on a more prominent role in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Do you think the possibilities of turning her into a superhero or taking over a Black Panther, they do exist?
Oh, absolutely. And I think if there is anything to go by, it's that females within the Marvel Cinematic Universe are very much watchable. You know, we've seen Brie Larson take on the role of Captain Marvel. We're seeing Scarlett Johansson, Natasha Romanoff take on her own movie, Black Widow, coming out this month. So I think there is definitely a possibility for Letitia Wright to take on a more prominent role. You know, other stars of the movie: Daniel Kaluuya, Winston Duke, Lupita Nyong'o, Florence Kasumba, Angela Bassett. It's been reported that they're all likely to reprise their roles with from the original film. We're not so sure about Michael B. Jordan just yet. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Letitia Wright, especially given her character's links to Chadwick Boseman's character, whether she will take on a more prominent role. However, if the Marvel Cinematic Universe is anything to go by, they are very much leading the way in terms of female superheroes and promoting those female superheroes. The fact that Brie Larson, a female superhero film, can reach over $1 billion at the box office, that is very clearly a good sign. You know, when it comes to Black Panther, it was an absolute cultural sensation when it first opened in February of 2018. It shattered the myth that, most importantly, not just that cast involving women, but a fact that Hollywood movies with a predominantly Black cast cannot be commercially viable internationally. It earned $1.34 billion worldwide. It was Marvel's highest grossing non-Avengers movie of all time, earning 7 Academy Award nominations, including 1 for Best Picture. So, I mean, that's the thing, you know, Black Panther, this franchise can go absolutely anywhere, and there's very much going to be fan demand for it.
Right. The makers are not recasting the character of T'Challa. There were speculations that there can be a possibility of creating a CGI T'Challa, but it's no longer there. It will be an emotional shock for the fans to see the movie without T'Challa. But creating a new Black Panther from the scratch, do you think it can be risky? Filmmakers seem to be very confident, but what do you think of it?
Well, I think it's about the franchise, and when it comes to a film like this, even though Chadwick Boseman was really leading the way, you know, when you look at the ensemble cast, there is very much that substance there. Letitia Wright, Daniel Kaluuya, Winston Duke, Lupita Nyong'o, Florence Kasumba, Angela Bassett. You know, all of these actors and actresses are very they can carry their experience, they can carry a movie on their own. I think it would be worse for them to recast the character of T'Challa. I think that would be even more risky, because people would always be comparing that to Chadwick Boseman. Whereas I think if they set a new path for all of these characters, you know, this is Marvel. This is the studio king of imagination. It is a titan of imagination. They can take this character. They can take not just the character. They can take the universe wherever and whenever. You know, the options are effectively limitless here. So, and you know, you've got a whole ensemble at your fingertips of experienced actors, plus a world of Wakanda that is clearly in demand for fans. I mean, there is no trouble anytime soon for this.
And Josh, speaking of so much left for the fans' imagination, Michael B. Jordan's intense and troubled villain Eric Killmonger could also be in for a return, potentially in flashbacks. But Jordan B. has said that it is unlikely. I mean, still it hasn't been announced in the cast that is returning. Jordan B.'s name was not there. So how do you think the consistency of this version will be maintained if that is the case?
I mean, this is the thing with Marvel. Marvel is also, if they're king of anything, it's not just imagination, but they're king of the cameos. Let's be honest, the creator, Stan Lee, always had a little cameo in the movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if Michael B. Jordan appears in the movie some way. He says it's unlikely. That's the thing. Again, Marvel can go absolutely anywhere with this. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, he's a very busy actor. He is known for other roles, including Creed, and he's going to be reprising the role in Creed 3 coming up. So, I think he's involved in loads of stuff. I know he's also been working with Amazon Prime recently. Um, I think that's thing. Flashbacks could work for the character. I mean, that's thing. This is Marvel. They could take us anywhere.
Right. And Josh Kugler has told that now that it's not about T'Challa, or it's not about the superhero that Black Panther was previously. It will use this chance to explore more about Wakanda as a place, which means that we should expect more focus on the storyline rather than action this time.
Yes and no, because if Marvel's anything to go by, I think there's still going to be plenty of action sequences. And, Wakanda's been mentioned all over in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. And the thing is as well, because they're going to be developing a TV series of Wakanda as well, I think there's going to be a lot of cross references between the two. So I'm not sure if there's going to be less action sequences. However, I think that this franchise is going to become more of an ensemble franchise, and not just a one character based or character leading franchise, but Wakanda and this whole world will become more of an ensemble piece, featuring loads and loads of different actresses, in the same way that Thor Ragnarok became very much an ensemble piece as well, not just focusing on the character of Thor, not just focusing on Chris Hemsworth's character, but also featuring the likes of Tessa Thompson and Kate Blanchett and Taika Waititi. So that's the thing. There's going to be lots to it.
Right. And the movie, with all the unpredictability, still remains our favorite. We can't wait to have it on screen. Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Nasheen.
That was Josh Fromm with his views on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And now moving to other story details of the day. Shermeen Obaid-Chinoy bags 2 Daytime Emmy nominations. Shermeen Obaid-Chinoy-owned documentary has been nominated in 2 categories for the 48th Annual Daytime Emmy. SOC Films, a Karachi-based film production house spearheaded by 2-time Academy Award and 4-time Emmy Award winner Obaid-Chinoy, has been nominated in 2 categories at the prestigious 48th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards for its international documentary series, Fundamental Gender Justice, No Exceptions, by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences in New York. Black Widow, the latest Marvel superhero film and the first to focus on Scarlett Johansson's character, has received broadly positive reviews from critics ahead of its release next week. The Hollywood Reporter said it was a stellar vehicle for the actress, while Empire said it was a lot of fun. Total Film agreed, calling the film a rousing addendum for the character, yet the way it treats issues like forced sterilization and the sexual exploitation of women has been queried. The film involves a secret Russian program that abducts, brainwashes, and sterilizes young women and turns them into lethal undercover operatives. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child will premiere on Broadway in November. The story takes place 19 years after Harry, Ron, and Hermione saved the wizarding world and a new generation of kids attending Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is produced by Sonia Friedman Productions. Colin Callender and Harry Potter Theatrical Productions are delighted to announce that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which since its triumphant opening in New York and San Francisco, has seen record-breaking numbers of people spellbound by the wizardry on stage, will be returning in North America in a reimagined version that audiences can see in one afternoon or evening. Ed Sheeran has penned a new tune for JLS. The Bad Habits hitmaker has let slip that he has co-written a class JLS track with Steve Mack, who was behind the trio's mega hit Beat Again, and the song is due out this year. The Shape of You hitmaker has also been working with another boy band, Westlife, on the songs for the next studio album after he helped out the lads with their 2019 comeback LP Spectrum. And that is it from Newsroom. We will be right back after a quick short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Today we will be reviewing Robin Hood Men in Tights. A movie that was released in 1993 is an American musical adventure comedy film and a parody of the Robin Hood story. The film was produced and directed by Mel Brooks, and he also co-wrote this. To review the movie, we have film critic Joel Kalkopf with us. Joel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Joel, Mel Brooks did an amazing job, as usual, directing another humor-filmed movie. His Robin Hood Men in Tights puts a hilarious spin on the fictional character Robin Hood. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm very honored and privileged to be able to talk about this on air. This is very exciting for me. This is a movie that I've loved for as long as I can remember. Maybe inappropriately shown this movie as a kid, but even all these years later, we just absolutely adore this film. My friends, my family, we reference it at any given opportunity.
Right.
Mel Brooks, who turned 95 this week,
Yes.
he never really made movies for the critics. This movie was panned by the critics and didn't do very well in the box office either.
Yeah.
But it's one of those really hidden gems that over time, the adoration for it has grown. Its VHS sales and DVD sales have gone through the roof. People love this movie. This man, doesn't matter how old he is, he's a genius. He is a comic genius.
True. And although the humor as compared to today is old school, but do you think that this remains a classic that even, serves the modern day humor?
I think it shows that when the comedy is right, it's ageless. You can watch movies from 50, 60, 70 years ago and still find things funny. I think Mel Brooks has always sort of teetered on the edge of non-PC controversial comedy. You only have to look at his previous works of The Producers and Blazing Saddles. This guy knew what he was doing. He wanted to really test how far he could go. But he was always very considerate about it as well. So I think there are certainly elements of this that might not age as well, but this is still a funny film. This is still really laugh out loud. There's a lot of physical comedy in this film as well, which doesn't really age. And I think you can certainly appreciate it just as much now as we could back in '93 to see on screen.
Right. And though the spoofs are often too obvious, Mel Brooks' comedy offers a few good chuckles. Some of its funniest moments are when he himself is on screen. What do you think of that?
Oh, no doubt. He has a wonderful cameo appearance in this movie as the rabbi character.
Yeah.
And he just plays that so well. It's obviously a world he knows a lot about, and he's very comfortable in those shoes, and he really plays with it. There are jokes that he says that I never used to understand, and now that we look back and we think how funny it is, and you could say that for a lot of what this film is, every time that you watch this film, you pick up a new line, whether it's something you didn't quite understand before or because it's just such a passing one-liner, you never had the chance to really appreciate it. And he's a genius at that. That's what makes these films so rewatchable, is that there is so much hidden in there. And yeah, just seeing him on screen and that character, and he lifts up his hat and the hair comes off the side, it's really wonderful and such a joy.
And to some of the critics, the filmmakers should not have been messing up with the sanity of a character like Robin Hood. What is your take on that?
Oh, I couldn't disagree more, to be honest. I mean, look at all the recent remakes we have of Robin Hood. This is an old mythical character. I don't think anyone feels that strongly about it as a character, I should say. He has every right to parody something like this. Obviously, he took a lot of the parody from '91's Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. And we have that wonderful line from Cary Elwes who says, I'm a Robin Hood with an English accent, and which is a direct sort of jab at Kevin Costner and the film. He's having fun with it. He has every right to have fun with this. This is a beloved character, but it's not a character that there's only one image of him. So if he wants to parody him, if he wants to have fun with it, by all means, I'm a huge fan of it.
And another reason could be, a possible reason could be the explicit jokes that were like way too ahead of their time. Do you think that if the film had been released in modern days, it would have done better?
It's an interesting question. You know what? I don't know. We don't really get many parody films at the moment, and I think that's a shame. I personally quite enjoy them, but people do take offense more easily now to parody, and you have to remember who you are offending here. I think if a film like Men in Tights, I can't see getting released today. And I think we also are not blessed with someone of Mel Brooks' genius today that can get away with it. I mean, he hasn't made a film since, I think, 1995's Dracula was his last feature film as a director. So, you know, I think he knew as well, perhaps he was aging, and perhaps he knew that the time for these parodies was not going to be around forever. And no, I don't think it would have done nearly as well.
Right. And talking about the look and feel of the movie, I mean, when you look at the set, it actually gives the feel of medievals, but the dialogue delivery and the story, it is very much, you know, according to the modern time. So, I mean, it very much complements the modern storyline. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I think that's something that Mel Brooks is very intentional about. The filming location is obviously very much looks like in a forest, and the castles are all there, and they look a bit fake, and I think that's part of the look and feel he's going for.
Yeah.
But what he does so expertly, and as you were saying with the script, is all the jokes are very modern. There's branded, you know, cans of food and vegetables all over the place. They make references to modern brands all the time. And I think they use electricity and machinery as often as they can. Like, he understands the world that he is creating, and he plays with that. He realizes and defines those boundaries, and then tries to push them as much as he can. And it's just, yeah, it's wonderful to see.
Right. And also a very critical point that we discuss about reviewing every movie that we do. Robin Hood Men in Tights does not seem to be lazy or sloppy at any point for viewers. Do you agree with this?
Look, I reckon you could find people who do think it does look lazy and sloppy, because there are certainly set pieces that are comical, and you look back and you're like, how did they get away with this? I just don't feel that. I feel that this is a comedy. This is a joyous film. This is something that, you know, it's okay to be silly and have a laugh with a film like this. And I think that's what it's going for, and it really hits that mark.
Yeah, and Mel Brooks' involvement in the movie tells that how much this movie has been close to his heart.
Oh, absolutely. And you can see he always enjoys what he does.
Exactly.
It's not for the critics, it's for the audiences. And he knows that, and the audiences know that. He is such an adored and beloved man, and wish him happy birthday for his 95th. It's amazing that he's still going, and you know, it's a shame we don't get to see new material from him anymore, but we still will always have his catalog, and he's just a magnificent man.
Right. And Joel, of all the characters, which one are your favorites? Of course, not giving any spoilers, but tell us about the favorite character that adds more power to the movie, and why they have been your favorite ones.
Oh, that is tough. I enjoy them all. I love Mel Brooks' cameo as the rabbi. And Carrie Elwes as Robin Hood, I think, just is such an amazing, has amazing go at embodying that role. But I think my favorite is probably Richard Lewis's character of Prince John. He's not in it that much, and no spoilers for anyone who doesn't know the Robin Hood mythology. He's the bad guy. Yes. But I think he plays that so well, and he's fumbly, he's naive, he's a bit silly. His mole moves around his face. He's just an excellent, excellent character. And Richard Lewis is someone who's just a phenomenal actor, and he plays it so well.
Right.
He's someone I couldn't imagine anyone else doing, and he would have to be my favorite, I think.
Right. Joel, a great discussion. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
That was Joel Kalkopf reviewing the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights. And that is it from today's episode. We will be back with some more entertaining content next time. Until then, don't forget to share your feedback on the social media link mentioned down below. Take care and goodbye.